Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Christina and in this video I want to tell you about my new offline project in Kyiv in Ukraine, which I'm preparing now for women and children. So let's start right away. Background: I used to have a hobby, namely stretching. In general, I've been doing sports all my life. As a child I did dancing, then in the gym, but it was after stretching that I started to feel the most fulfilled, because it's not a sport of exhaustion, and for example after the gym I need a couple of hours of rest. At the same time, the quality of my body has improved, also due to the fact that most of us have swelling and closed muscles. Stretching helps with that. The main advantages for me in this kind of sport activities is that they are suitable for everyone, and children and adults and people with different level of training. I came up with this project before the famous virus. We started looking for premises, but then of course for the whole world, almost for the whole world, offline became irrelevant. I decided to put this business idea on hold and came back to it a couple months before the full-scale invasion, and again history repeated itself and already aggravated. Since the first half of the year we lost income, there were a lot of losses. A missile flew into my office, my cottage, my village was completely destroyed. We provided for our entire family, but there was no income, only saving, and as much went to funerals. I will not talk about sad things, but back in March the war began in February, and in March a close person died. There was no opportunity to bury. To be honest, there was not even an opportunity to take the body to the morgue, as the morgues were full. Let me remind you that in March most of the Kyiv region was under occupation. Of course, this is nothing compared to our grief of losing a loved one, but I'm telling you this as part of the story of the opening of the studio. So a couple months ago I decided it was time. By then we had some savings again, but they were nowhere near what they were before the full-scale war. So I needed partial funding for this project. I started to apply for a grant program in Ukraine to support small businesses. The first attempt was unsuccessful, as I did not pass the third stage out of 3, and with the second time I won among thousands of people a grant. But even here it turned out to be not so simple. In our country everything that concerns state programs is very specific, as there is no transparency and details are not written anywhere. In fact, after I won, I started to find out details from people who also won, and I'm glad that I found such people in my environment. Thanks to them, I learned that the grant in Ukraine it's more like a loan than just investing in your project. In general, having weighted all the pros and cons, I refuse the grant. I will not tell here all the pros and cons, but the cons turned out to be much more. At the same time, I told on my old YouTube channel about the project, and a few people helped very much financially. Now with a certain amount of money we have begun the detailed development of the business startup. I would also like to tell you why I decided to be the businesswoman in the first place. The fact is that for the last 11 years I have worked in sales, human resources and operations. I've also had a lot of trainings in marketing, that is, I have an idea of what a business is and how to build it. Of course, when I just started to think about business, I immediately began to write a detailed business plan, which was later used and when participating in the grant program. Of course, a lot of work was also done on writing the business plan, its development of strategy and research of the target audience, analysis of competitors, information of expected costs and income for 3 years on a quarterly basis, and so on. Now there are works on the beginning of the launch of business, repairing the premises, search for staff, and so on will begin in January next year, 21st. And I hope that in February I will be able to share the results with you. On finances, now there is 70% of the necessary amount for the first 4 months. I'm also currently participating in another grant. Its difference with the previous one is that it's a commercial project to give grants from one well-known company and you, I think, to L'Oreal with Ukrainian businesswoman. And this project is designed to support women's business, but the competition is crazy, only 10 grants. But I thought, what to lose? Why not participate? Who knows what fate has in stores for us? And I think every opportunity should be seized. The results will also be announcement in January. Regarding the directions that will be in the studio at the opening stage, it's stretching, twine, general physical trainings for children, yoga for beginners, yoga for advanced, and fair, it's something like a myofascial release, sorry here I can mispronounce, and zyglobic gymnastics. The goal of this project is to help children and women, first of all, to distract themselves from everyday problems, distract themselves from our realities in Ukraine and just switch, to improve their bodies and be in a circle of like-minded people. In my studio will be a lot of cool chips, which are not in other studios in Ukraine, but I will not tell you about them yet. I will share them later. You know, I'm sure that each of us came into this world with a purpose and, if I may say so, a mission. I know my mission exactly, and for quite a long time it's to strengthen people and their faith in themselves and in general to create something for personal development in different ways. Maybe that's why in all companies where I worked for the last 8 years I won different nominations like the best mentor, the best leader, and I often hear from people, including in ordinary life, that it was my faith in them that helped them decide to do something more in their lives. But somehow I will tell about it in detail in my book, which I'm sure I will write sooner or later in my life. It's about believing in yourself. In general, there is one phrase that makes me move through life and do something, do not give up. And this phrase sounds like never give up, it's such a wonderful life. Never give up, it's such a wonderful life. That's all. If you want to support my project, I will leave the links below this video. And thanks you for watching this video, for your support to my channel, new channel. And see you in the next video. Bye!